5-year-old boy is walking behind his father. 10 feet back, maybe 15. His dad turns around. The trail is empty. No scream. No sound. No footprints in the mud that should be soft enough to hold one. This isn't the beginning of a story. It's one of hundreds like it. And nobody in law enforcement wants to talk about why they all look the same. In 2011, a retired police detective named David Paulides started pulling old case files. Not because he suspected foul play. He just wanted to know how many people vanish from wilderness areas every year. The National Park Service doesn't publish that number. Nobody does. So Paulides built the list himself, case by case, county by county. What he found wasn't a number. It was a shape, the same details. Over and over, in places thousands of miles apart. People who'd hiked those trails 100 times before. Gone in minutes. And when they're found, if they're found, the details get stranger, not clearer. Here's what the pattern actually looks like. 1. Dogs can't track the scent. Search dogs, trained, experienced, expensive, arrive at the last known point and just stop. As if the trail ends in the air. 2. Bodies are found in places already searched. Not once, not twice. Sometimes a location gets swept 4, 5 times by trained teams. And on the 6th pass, there's a body in plain sight where nothing was before. 3. Clothing goes missing or turns up somewhere it shouldn't. Hikers found without boots. Without jackets, in terrain where you'd freeze in 20 minutes without them. 4. Water. An unnatural number of cases end near water. Creeks, ponds, rivers, even when the person had no reason to go near it. 5. Berries. This one sounds absurd until you see it in the files. An unsettling number of found children are near wild berry bushes. Every time. None of these facts alone means anything. Together, across hundreds of cases, they start to look less like coincidence and more like a pattern someone built the rules around, even if we don't know what those rules are. Here's the part that should bother you more than the pattern itself. The National Park Service does not release comprehensive missing persons data. Paulides has filed for it. Journalists have filed for it. Some requests get partial numbers. Some get nothing. A park ranger off the record once told a reporter, "People don't want to hike a park where people vanish." That's not a conspiracy, that's a budget decision. But it means we have no real baseline. We don't know if this is 1 in 10,000 hikers or 1 in 10 million. We don't know if it's happening more now than it did 50 years ago. The absence of the data is its own kind of mystery. Because who decided silence was the right call? And when you plot the documented clusters, Yosemite, the Uinta Mountains, the Great Smoky Range, they aren't random. They cluster in specific terrain types. Granite, dense old-growth forest, certain elevations. Skeptics have an answer for this too. And we'll get to it. But first, one case that broke the pattern in the other direction. Most missing 411 stories end one of 2 ways. Found too late, or never found at all. But a small number of cases end with someone walking out of the woods alive, with no memory of where they'd been. Hours gone, sometimes days. Clothes intact. No injuries consistent with the terrain they were found in. When asked what happened, the answer is almost always the same. I don't know. I just remember walking. Then I was here. Investigators call this a dissociative fugue state, a real, documented psychological response to extreme stress, exposure, or dehydration. That explanation satisfies most of the cases. It does not explain the ones where the missing person is found calm, well-fed, wearing clean clothes that don't match what they left in. Those cases are rare. They're also the ones that keep David Paulides up at night. Now, the responsible part of this story. Search and rescue professionals have pushed back hard on Paulides' work. Their argument is simple. Wilderness is enormous. Terrain is unforgiving. Weather changes fast. Scent tracking fails constantly. Wind, rain, and time erase it naturally. Already searched areas get missed because search grids in dense forest are never perfect. Teams can walk past a body 10 feet away and never see it. And berries and water aren't sinister. They're just what wilderness has. Streams are natural travel corridors. Berries are food. Of course, people end up near both. Statisticians point out something else. Paulides doesn't publish a baseline rate of disappearance to compare against. Without that number, a pattern might just be how tragedy naturally looks when you stack enough of it together. That's a fair criticism. It might even be the true one. But it still doesn't explain why the agency with the actual data won't release it. So what do we actually know? We know people disappear from wilderness in the United States every year, a real, measurable number that nobody outside a few researchers has fully documented. We know clusters exist in specific terrain, repeated across decades. We know the agencies responsible for that land control almost all the information about it. And we know that coincidence and cover-up aren't the only two options. There's a third one, quieter than both. We don't understand wilderness as well as we think we do. Terrain swallows evidence. Weather erases signs. Memory fails under trauma. Maybe that's the entire answer. Or maybe it's just the answer that's easiest to live with. Somewhere tonight, a family is still checking a trailhead camera from 6 years ago. Still calling a park ranger's office that stopped returning calls. Still asking the only question that matters. Where did they go? Nobody has an answer that satisfies all of it. Maybe nobody ever will. But here's the one thing worth remembering the next time you're deep in the trees, farther from the trailhead than you meant to go. The wilderness doesn't need a conspiracy to be dangerous. It just needs you to stop paying attention for 1 minute.